role models for our next generation of excellence. You know, I made up my mind to challenge our younger people. If you hear about me getting beat up on the bus, it's going to be true. I do have my senior citizens bus pass, and I do ride the bus, contrary to other opinions. I do ride the bus, and I made up my mind that I'm not going to let young people curse in front of me without saying something to them about it. And until we all, as men and women of excellence, start taking these young people to task, and I know you can take your life in your hands when you do this. So don't go getting killed on my account, but if you hear about me getting beat up on the bus, it's going to be true. Now, it's great to be here this evening on behalf of the New Pittsburgh Courier and welcome you as we celebrate these men of excellence in our community. And it's great to know that there are people here who have overcome the odds by their own self-determination, preparation, and willingness to succeed, that they may continue to soar to new heights. So I ask that you respectfully greet them as we introduce them. But at this time, I would like you to welcome to the stage Miss Ashley Johnson of the New Pittsburgh Courier. My wife told me not to get her in trouble. I understand my mother-in-law is here, is that right? Is she at table 11? Where's your mother? My mother-in-law is here. My wife couldn't be here tonight. She told me that Ashley could stand in for her. I hope I didn't get you in trouble with your mother.
Front page? Put it on the front page.
That's a nice catch.
You're in trouble, Chris.
Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to get out the way? All right, go ahead. Ashley Johnson, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Again, my name is Ashley Johnson, and I'm the advertising coordinator for the New Pittsburgh Courier.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. You don't have to listen to me, but listen to Ashley, okay? Don't be quiet for a second.
He's the best husband ever. I would like to thank you all for attending our 2019 Men of Excellence Awards. We at the New Pittsburgh Courier appreciate your continued support. There are other places you could have been tonight, but you chose to be here. So for that, I say thank you. And give yourselves a round of applause. Edwin Lewis Cole said, "Mediocre men work at their best, but men seeking excellence strive to do better." That quote is fitting for tonight's occasion because the men being honored have not only strived to be better individuals and role models, but they have dedicated themselves and their service to making a positive impact in their professions and the community and leaving it a better place for those behind them. It is that which makes our men tonight men of excellence. To help spread the word of the positivity of tonight's event, we are asking that you flood Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with your pictures using hashtag #NewPGHCourierMOE. Now, it is my honor to recognize this evening's sponsors. It is because of their generosity that we have had this event tonight. As I recognize each company, I ask that you please stand. Our presenting sponsor is AARP. Our award sponsors are Gateway Health Plan, the Heinz Endowment, Highmark, the Pittsburgh Foundation, and UPMC. And we appreciate their generosity, so please give them another hand. lastly, in the center of your tables, you will find subscription cards. As a gift for attending tonight, you will receive a free 3-month subscription. I encourage you to fill it out and leave it in the center of your tables, and they will be collected at the end. And if you already have a subscription, please fill one out for a neighbor, a family friend, or a coworker who might not already have one. Again, thank you to our sponsors, thank you to all of you for joining us tonight, and congratulations to our honorees.
Thank you, Ashley. Now let's welcome a person who is part of our presenting sponsor. She is Angela Forshaw, who is manager of state operations, who will offer some remarks for AARP.
Good evening, Pittsburgh.
Good evening.
Oh, I must be in the wrong place. Hold on. Good evening, Pittsburgh. Good evening. There we go. That's the welcome I was looking for. You should see what I see. You all look amazing tonight. You look fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you so much for pressing to be here. My name is Angela Forshaw Rouse, and I'm the manager for community outreach and operations at AARP. I wanted to give a special shout out for our amazing staff and our wonderful volunteers and community partners. Everybody give them a shout out. They are working hard connecting you to all the wonderful resources that AARP has. We are 38 million members strong. How many AARP members do we have in the house tonight? Don't be ashamed. No shame in that. That's the goal. You want to get to 50 and beyond, right? That's the goal. That's the goal, right? We are an amazing organization. We are nonpartisan, and we are doing everything that we can to advocate for you, connecting you to affordable health care, and hoping that we can be more financially secure to keep some wealth in our families. Isn't that right? Very good. So we just wanted to really encourage you. Please support the Courier. They are doing an amazing job. What a resource they are, right? Every Sunday, my pastor says, my people perish for
lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge, and we have so much knowledge that's shared with us every time we open up the paper, or now digitally, right? How many of you get the digital emails? I know I get them, and it keeps me informed about what's going on in our community, so we just wanted to thank Mr. Dawes and his amazing staff for putting this on and celebrating our men of excellence. So thank you so much on behalf of our CEO, Ms. Joanne Jenkins, and our State Director, Bill Johnson Walsh, our volunteers and staff. We have 1.8 million members here in Pennsylvania. That's a lot of people. And we are so proud that our men of excellence have such dedication and valor to truly make a difference in the communities they serve, and they care to serve rather than to be served. So we just thank you all tonight for that. We continue to work with you to champion on information and education that will make positive change, social change. So we're with you on the federal level, we're with you on the state level, and here locally to help pass laws that will make things better for the 50 plus and their families. We celebrate your accomplishments tonight, and we honor our great men of excellence. Thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you, AARP, for being a presenting sponsor of tonight's event. We're getting closer to honoring our awardees tonight, but before we do that, I'd like to bring Rod Doss forward. He is the editor and publisher of the New Pittsburgh Courier, to make some remarks. Mr. Doss?
Thank you, Chris. Give Chris a hand. Well deserved it. We are pleased to have Chris work with us on so many countless occasions, because he is a consummate professional, and he knows just about everybody that we are awarding. I don't know how you get that knowledge. You must read the Courier a lot. But he does. Well, again, good evening to everyone here tonight. I am Rod Doss, and I once again am thrilled to be in the presence of excellence. Yeah. The men we honor tonight are from a variety of fields, different fields of endeavor, and we have you, the readers of the New Pittsburgh Courier, to thank for nominating them for this honor. Give yourselves a hand, because you're the ones that may help us make this event. Yeah. Now, when I review the titles and accomplishments of these men, I can't help but reach out to thank a particular individual that happens to be here tonight, an honoree named Johnny Meyer. Okay? I thank Johnny for his decades of selfless service to the NAACP and standing on the front lines to open the doors of opportunity denied to so many in this community that helped bring us to this evening. Thank you, Johnny. Many of our honorees are in fields of endeavor that were virtually non-existent for us not too long ago. Now we have presidents and CEOs. How about that, Kane Hayes? You agree? We have school principals. You agree, Dr. Bernard Taylor? And we have a host of educators in public schools and in universities. We have those in finance. How about that, Glenn Hawkins? Aaron Aldridge? How about that? And others that are providing financial assistance. And yes, we have quite a few entrepreneurs and a host of those providing community services. And we have those giving us spiritual guidance that has brought us this far. Now also tonight, we will honor a man whose vision for Manchester Bidwell Corporation was the beginning of his legacy in this city. It began when Bill Strickland talked to the late Senator John Hines into giving him $1 million to build what has become Manchester Bidwell, on the condition that it would have a culinary program. Now his model has been duplicated in cities across the country and beyond. His legacy spans the globe, not just in brick and mortar, but in the lives of people he's touched. Let me share, you'll hear more about him tonight, but let me share this particular story about how he touched his community. When the riots of 1968 occurred across this city, many buildings, businesses were burned, destroyed, or vandalized, even on the north side. But the word went out. Bidwell was not to be touched. And it wasn't. Not by stone, graffiti, or match. Bill Strickland had garnered the genuine respect of his community so his vision could be fulfilled. We'll have more to say about Bill. Quite a guy, quite a guy, and you will hear from yourself. But right now, I think it's time to meet our other honorees. So here it goes. Please welcome the New Pittsburgh Courier, Men of Excellence, the class of 2019.
We are going to ask all of our awardees to come to the left side, my military left, the left side, I knew you appreciate that, to assemble right now in alphabetical order, if you would. We ask you to assemble right now so that we can start to announce you. And I still would ask those of you
While the men are assembling, I just want to take mention of some other outstanding people that happen to be here tonight. The staff of the New Pittsburgh Courier. Courier staff, please stand. Be recognized. They're the ones that make it all happen. They're here tonight to assist, to lend their assistance, to make sure that everything stays on point, and not to mention the work that they do on a day-to-day basis. And they are the New Pittsburgh Courier. Give them another round of applause.
Now, as we name you gentlemen, we want you to come forward. We have our Bon Vivant around town, Debbie Norrell, here to help present you with the awards. Our photographer will take a picture of you. You will not be allowed remarks. Some of you that I may introduce, just like I introduced Ms. Johnson, I related to a lot of you. Some of them I will call my sons because I've had some part in their life. The DNA tests are not in yet. But I still feel as though that we are a big family here. And our first awardee, give him a round of applause, if you will, is Aaron Aldridge, Business Education Director. Come here so we can get your picture. Mr. Aldridge, I understand you just had a son born this Tuesday, is that right? Congratulations. This is an example of the kind of fatherhood and manhood we need in this community. Congratulations on that. Kevin Alton, founder and executive director of the Way organization. Kevin, my wife tells me I'm in the way all the time, so I don't think that's what it means here. But congratulations to you, okay? Anthony Anderson, Deputy Superintendent, Pittsburgh Public Schools. Anderson, step forward and take one picture. Congratulations, young man. Tall, dark, and handsome. Wahad Ansari, owner of Professional Barber Institute. Next is Brandon Baker, Family Support Brandon, it must be the shoes, brother. Take a picture there, young man. Eddie Bell, Allegheny County Department of Human Services, Office of CYF. Unfortunately, Mr. Bell could not be here. Is anyone accepting for him tonight? Okay, give him a round of applause anyway. Isaiah Preston Bay, founder and president of the Engineering Impact Initiative. Right over there on the X, young man. Smile for the photographer. Pastor Neville A. Brooks, fresh from the islands by way of England, pastor of Jubilee International Ministry.
Smile faster.
Reverend Dr. Darrell T. Kennedy, Senior Pastor. 5 minutes speaker, missionary
Yeah. I'm sending them as soon as I take it. I wouldn't recognize them.
Dr. Kennedy and I did some sinning together.
With y'all.
Here's one of my sons by a previous relationship. I call him the world's oldest workshop graduate of the Pittsburgh Black Media Federation, Dr. Anthony Carlisle. And assistant professor at California University of Pennsylvania. Did you hear me say English department chair? Bishop Donald O'Clay, Senior Pastor, Pittsburgh International.
You put a couple pounds on.
Bishop's sisters must have dropped some 20s in the collection, please. Congratulations. Harvey Cole Jr., Director of I just got out of the hospital there at UP and I felt secure the whole time I was there. I like my gallbladder back. Paris Davenport, Executive Director, Family and Friends Initiative. Right there on that, man. Austin A. Davis, State Representative. I met this man when he was just starting to work out as a young political operative. He is on the rise and on the go. We're very proud of you, young man. Dr. Charles DeShaver, Senior Vice President and Chief Medical Officer of American Health Plan. Dr. DeShaver, it hurts when I do that. You're supposed to say, don't do that. Congratulations. Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning. Donald Gray III, Collision Center Customer Relations Manager, BMW. I told this young man earlier tonight I had 2 BMWs once, but I can't afford them anymore because I'm a part-time worker. He offered me a special deal. I'm going by BMW next week. See if I can get a lease on the 5-seater. Next, we have Charles Greer Sr., Marketing Representative, Organizer, Sheet Metal Workers, Local 12. Congratulations. Keep your union strong.
We're hiring.
Oh, look at that, he's hiring.
We're here.
Another one of my sons, Akil Esoon Griffin, CEO of Underground Music Group LLC. I first met this man when he was a teenager with pencils in a cup. I take you back on it.
Kill.
All right. Devon Hammond, CEO of Promotional Wood. Someone once said that self-promotion is the best promotion. I think it was you. There's push hat on. Go ahead, bro. Kevin Harris Senior Manager of Mental Health Rehab and Recovery Services, Pittsburgh, You have to put the tall lens out for you. Quite well.
Tall one for him, wide one for you.
Why would for me? Right? All right, I heard it. Reverend James Harris Sr., Senior Pastor, St. James Harris. Well, I see you at the luncheon, African American luncheon. All right.
Go, Reverend Jimmy!
Will the ushers please come forward and take up the collection? This is a guy I've known for a long time, and I love him dearly. Dr. Nelson E. Harrison, Pittsburgh Jazz Network. This guy has more stories to tell about jazz scene worldwide and here in Pittsburgh than anyone I know, and it's fascinating. You writing a book sometime soon, man? 4, okay. It's written 4. On the X. He knows his notes, but he doesn't know the X. That's for the drug? Okay. Congratulations, Doc. Lynn Hawkins, CFO, Treasury, United States of Southwestern. Congratulations. Kane Hayes.
That's a nice photo you got on there.
President and CEO of Gateway Health Place. Okay, smile, pretty. Dennis, I understand there are no police in the room that will stop you from standing in the middle of the street while you're trying to save the race, okay? If you've been reading the Courier, you know his story. Dennis Henderson, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Manchester Academic Charter School. Can I tell you how this young man is in the classroom serving as a role model for our young men who are coming along and growing up. Look more like me. Right, man. The locks went by the board, huh? Let's see, where was that? That was Dennis, right? All right, Leonard Hope. Senior chemist, Modern Pharmaceutical.
Go, Leonard!
And chemist. Eric House, founder and president, no hero left behind. It must be the shoes up there. It must be the shoes. What size are those? I don't think that's right. Good looking at big feet besides. You know what that means. Oh, stop it. You heard that. Reverend James E. Hunt, Senior Pastor, First Baptist Church of Pitt Hill. Unfortunately, Reverend Hunt could not be with us tonight, but we applaud him anyway. Anthony Jefferson, owner and operator. Anthony, must be the pants, man. I can't wear them high and tight like that. That's good, young man. Yeah. All right, congratulations. Turn the page, that's about it. Reverend Tory O. Johnson, priest in charge of the Church of the Holy Cross. We play dominoes after Wayne Jones, CEO of Pitt Hill School. brothers and sisters here? Let me tell you something about Mr. Jones. Garfield. I've been in a lot of teams out here, but this young man is doing a great job with the Gators and young people all over Garfield. We appreciate him. We're a feature on him and his team and all the people who are doing things with our young people in sports. Congratulations, sir. Good to see you again. Shannon Lawhorn, fatherhood program manager. Right there on there. There you go. That's your mom or your wife? She said, yeah. All right. Jim Mallory, Assistant Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion and School Ambassador at Duquesne University. As I'm picking you first for the volleyball team. All right, you got it? All right, congratulations. Gordon Manker, Business Development Specialist, Williamsburg Community Development. Looking good.
All right, Court.
My brother from another mother, Brother Marlon Martin. This guy's good at web design and all around good Christian brother. Johnny Myers. The only man old enough here that has been my mentor. Congratulations, Johnny. All right, right here, right there.
All right. Good job. Good job.
Congratulations, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
He's right distinguished with that tree. Next, William Mitchell Sr., Director of Facility Services, University of Pittsburgh.
Trying to step on your shoes.
No, I wouldn't step on his shoes. He's too big. He might hurt me. Brandon Phillips, School Counselor, Pittsburgh Public Schools. You know the DNA test started in is another one of my children. Doing fine work with young people in our school system. Give them a round of applause. Here's somebody else I'm picking to be on the volleyball team. I'm not even going to ask him to dribble anymore. Darrell Porter, Executive Director of Ocean Incorporated.
Get on the X. Get on the X.
All right. Lord have mercy. Family's growing. Another one of my children. Orlando Sharif. His mother, long-time inspiration here on Black Alliance a number of times. He still does his annual Christmas fest. I look up to a great deal, Dr. Jerome Taylor. Dr. Taylor knocked my script out of my hand, so I hope I can find out where I was. Dr. Bernard Taylor Jr., principal, Western High School. I'm proud of all our black men in education. I want you to know.
This way, this way.
This way. All right. All right. I feel like I'm doing commencement. Adam C. Walker, Chairman and CEO of Summit Packing Solutions. Mr. Walker's business card is away to New York City, so accepting for him is Melanie Walker. Melanie here? Melanie's over here. Come on, Melanie. Come on up here and take the picture. Terrell L. Warden, agency owner of Lincoln Heritage Insurance.
On the X.
Oh man, I gotta get this collection of shoes going on here. Looking good. Good. Mark Courier, Assistant Director of Equity and Inclusion, Carleton University. And Brian, another charter member of the Pro-Time Brotherhood of America. All right.
He's in. He's in.
Eric Wells, Director of Employment Relations, CEO of the Port Authority of Allegheny County. Is that CEO or OEO? Not here? OEO? You are accepting commercial bank? You his daughter?
Yes.
Okay. He'd rather have you here than him anyway. Mariah? Oh, Mariah, doesn't say that. I'm sorry. Congratulations, Mariah, on behalf of your father. Stand there and take a nice picture. Anthony Williams. Douglas Williams Sr., Program Coordinator, YMCA, and Director of the Homewood Community Sports. You brought your better half home? All right. That's all right.
I don't know about nobody else, but without her, my oldest daughter, half of this stuff wouldn't be possible. That's why I bring her up here with me.
All right. Good man. Erica, congratulations. Well, you will. Last but certainly not least, Ryan Wooten, Chief of Police. go is about those parking tickets. Let's give all of our honorees a well-deserved round of applause. There you go. Give them a standing ovation. Our program that we want to introduce our legacy honoree. He is a man who has literally put Pittsburgh on the map.
Yes.
I have had the honor and privilege of interviewing him a number of times. I have some video, or actually it's film, it's that old, of him, and the only difference in the way he looks now, the way he looks today, is he has a few more gray hairs. He has created a program that is responsible for the rebirth of Pittsburgh from the collapse of the steel industry. His vision was to build a regional workforce by giving educational opportunities to poor and mostly black youth and adults that otherwise they could not get. And because he is an artist, he brought an artist's perspective to the work. He built an education center filled with art, sculpture, music, and gardens for his students to learn in. No sterile hallways, no metal detectors, and he even told me a couple of weeks ago that he has a center in Israel which has no metal detectors and no armed guards either. Can you imagine that feat that he has accomplished? And for most, the education was free of charge. His model was driven by two thoughts: that poor people should be able to enjoy beautiful things too, and that if they were, they would respond in beautiful ways, and indeed they have, by the thousands. Our legacy honoree's hard work has been recognized with numerous awards over the years, including the 1996 MacArthur Genius Award for leadership and ingenuity in the arts, and the 2012 GOI Peace Award given annually for the GOI Peace Foundation in Tokyo, Japan. He has also earned the attention of the White House on multiple occasions. Which president? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I knew you were a Republican. You all right with me? Being sworn in as a member of the President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities in 2002, and serving on the White House Council for Community Solutions in December 2010. The New Pittsburgh Courier is pleased to add to that impressive list by celebrating William E. Strickland Jr. as its Man of Excellence 2019 Legacy Honoree. Please watch the video on our video screen more about Bill Strickland.
When I first met Bill, he talked about how jazz music had in fact saved his life. And Bill heard something in that music, Herbie Hancock and Antonio Brothers Robine and Miles and Wes Montgomery, and he heard something that represented to him a sense of freedom, a sense of democracy, a sense of swing that he talks about, and he's followed that music ever since, which is why he built his music hall.
Jazz is like life, and when you have this, you trust the people around you, you will step up and dare bigger and try harder and do things that most people wouldn't even imagine doing. But because you're in a safe place with the people that have your back, you're able to do amazing things. And that's what Manchester Goodwill Corporation is. That's what Bill Strickland does for the world.
I always joke with Bill and tell him that he could not have built a more complex nonprofit if he tried. When Bill first started out, he established Manchester Craftsmen's Guild, at the height of the race riots, to offer something, an alternative to kids who were just hanging out on the street corners here.
Bill started Manchester Craftsman's Guild in 1968 in a row home here, a few blocks from here, with one ceramic wheel, I believe, because he wanted to recreate his experience that he had in high school with his ceramic art teacher, and really utilizing the arts as a philosophy for how to live your life.
The magnitude of Bill, he has changed lives. He says hello to everybody. He takes time to see the genius in everybody, and to bring that genius out. And that's what the coolest part about Bill is, his ability to connect to people and bring out that special something that's in each of us.
He doesn't see race, he doesn't see color, he doesn't see ethnicity. People are people, and he meets each individual where they are in that moment in time, and he truly wants to help. The first thing that Bill tackled was, what are the barriers keeping people from taking advantage of these opportunities? So let's remove those barriers. And at no time has it ever been for this is one particular demographic. It's for people who want to come and better themselves, not only for themselves individually, but for their families.
And then he doesn't stop. And then once he's gotten through something, he's able to share. He'll share his experiences with people that need the hope breathed into them.
He's the ultimate storyteller. His life and his legacy is a story. And I think that's what's so infectious about his style, that when you meet the evolution of this organization, that's a comma, and I can't wait to see what the next 50 are gonna hold.
Just want to take time as Bill comes to the stage. Let's welcome you, please. 2019 Legacy Honoree, Mr. William E. Strickland Jr. I also want to thank one of my other children, Brian Cook, for producing that wonderful video.
Excuse me.
Dixon always in the way.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you for standing up and letting me know that the way I've elected to spend my life has been helpful. And I'd like to take a couple of minutes, because I realize the sooner I'm done, the sooner you can get out of here.
Group shot.
So I won't be long. But I do want to reflect on several memories and pay tribute to a few people. One of whom is quickly becoming a very, very close friend. That's Superintendent Hamlin. Because of his vision for where he wants to take our public school system and the intensity by which he intends to do that. And I want to say that because I was once a Pittsburgh public school kid at Oliver High School, and I was flunking out of school. And an art teacher named Frank Ross white guy, had a ceramic wheel in our classroom. And I was passing by the door, minding my own business, and he made this great big old ceramic bowl, and it was like magic. And I stood there and he said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, what is that?" He said, "It's ceramics." I said, "Well, why don't you teach me how to do that?" So for the remaining 2 years of high school, I cut all my classes. But I had street sense and gave the teachers whose classes I was cutting the pottery I made. And they gave me passing grades. That's how I got out of the place. And Frank said, "You're too smart to die. I don't want it on my conscience. You're going to college."
Amen.
And so he hounded me during my senior year until, mainly to get him off my back, I filled out an application to the University of Pittsburgh in pencil, put it in an envelope, sent it to Pitt. They sent me back a letter that says, "You've got to pass something called the Scholastic Aptitude Test," which I'd never seen before. Back then it was multiple choice, I kind of marked the thing up and flunked the test. But they had just started an affirmative action program in Pitt. And I was one of the first inductees into the affirmative action program. The first term I almost flunked out. The second term I was on the dean's list. And I graduated from Pitt with honors. And I just left the board meeting this morning because now I'm a trustee of Pitt. And they gave me a PhD. And I stood up in front of 13,000 people and I said, "Don't give up on the poor kids. They might end up being the commencement speaker." Don't judge the book by the cover.
That's right.
I had somebody sit down and add up the PhDs I received, and I now have 24. And I have an airline captain's rating. I used to fly Boeing 727s. And I flew in out of Pittsburgh in a previous life. And the point I'm trying to make is there's nothing wrong with these children. With affection,
Amen.
and world-class food, and a belief system,
Amen.
cures spiritual cancer.
Yes.
I won something called the MacArthur, the Genius Award. I won that thing in 1996. The reason I won it is through trial and error. I figured out that there was nothing wrong with the children. There was a lot wrong with the way that we were thinking about the children.
All right.
And so by building this, by the way, our building was the scale model for the Pittsburgh Airport. It was built by a student of Frank Lloyd Wright. And Mr. Ross took me to see it falling water, the famous house of Mr. Wright, when I was 16 years old. And I decided I was going to build one before I died, and I did. It's where I live now, at the Bidwell Training Center. And the thing that fascinated me about that visit to Falling Water was it had a fountain in the house. And I said, in my neighborhood, we spend time trying to keep the water out of the house. This guy's got a creek running right down through the middle of the place. That's an interesting way of looking at water, man. So I have a fountain in my courtyard, which you will see in the springtime when all of you come to visit, which I hope you'll do. There's other thing that the building has, it's flooded with sunlight. Because a lot of the people I work with are in the dark in their spirits. And when you're dark, you have no hope.
Say something.
You come to my building even on a gray day, it's filled with sunlight.
Amen.
And it doesn't have any restrictions to movement, and we haven't lost anything in 40 years of operation. That cannot be luck. That is strategy. Because if you understand that these children are basically assets in disguise, often described as liabilities, when you walk into my school, you become an asset instantaneously.
All right.
And people are a function of environment. You build beautiful environments, you get beautiful kids. You build prisons, you get prisoners. So our next move, by the way, the Department of Corrections is working with Bidwell, and we're going to take people who are incarcerated, and we're going to train them to have lives of dignity. So, the center's going pretty good. In fact, the 12 centers that we built are now going pretty good, including the one we have open in Israel. And we have Jews and Arabs going to school together today in Israel. Together in that center. I've got one in Chicago and Buffalo and New Haven, etc. None of them has a metal detector, and none of them have ever had a racial incident or theft or a drug or alcohol incident in all 12 schools. Now, I ain't making it up. There has to be a methodology to this stuff. And what I'm telling you is that common sense and decency and affection cures cancer of the human spirit.
Yes.
Next month, in March 8th, I will be with the Dalai Lama in India. He has decided that our center may be a solution to some of the suffering in his town in India. He sent his physician to Pittsburgh to check us out in full monk robes, and he put his hands on my chest, and he said a prayer. And I said to the staff, what prayer was he saying? He said, oh, he was praying for your new lungs.
Praise the Lord.
They had a double lung transplant 3 years ago. And during the transplant process, I rediscovered God. With all due respect to the ministers in the room, I'm not pushing church on anybody.
Push.
But I am telling you
Testify.
that there is something called the human spirit.
Yes.
And I saw it, and there was a young nurse named Emily who held my hand at 3 o'clock in the morning as I was going through the recovery. And I prayed to God
Amen.
that if I were spared, I would build centers for the rest of this life to alleviate human suffering. And apparently, my offer was accepted. I saw this happen, and one of the docs, who was my transplant surgeon, said, I'm not supposed to tell you this because I'm a scientist, but God saved you.
Amen.
Because physically, you were in such difficult circumstances that there had to be a force that reached down to make the difference.
Amen.
With that understanding now, I have reaffirmed my commitment to the children, particularly the poor kids, white and black and Asian, in every center that I'm going to be able to reach for as many years as I have left. And I believe that His Holiness may be part of the key to the puzzle, because his physician said to me, "How did you figure this out?" I said, "Well, I was born in a dark neighborhood, and with Herbie Hancock's music and Nancy Wilson's music, I was able to go from the dark to the light by following that music. If that's not true," and I said this to Herbie Hancock when he came to play piano, "how did I get this center built?" He said, "I've never heard my music described like that." I said, "Your music is a way of thinking. It's not just about notes, it's the way that you feel." And that's why I know that if we can get these children to look more like the people in this room, thanks to guys like Rod Doss, who had the passion and the intensity to know that that newspaper could not die.
Amen.
And I know this man. I also know about his suffering, what he went through to keep the black press going. And so, Rod, I'm honoring you as much as you're honoring me, man. Let me finish with a quick story. I go to Washington, D.C. often to pay my respects to Robert Kennedy. And if you go visit his grave, you don't see a big mausoleum, because there isn't any. What you see is a little cross about that big. Because that's what he felt he wanted to be remembered for. Humility. I used to fly planes for a living. I did. I flew 727s and out of Pittsburgh Airport. Brand Fairmont. And there are only two grades when you fly, S or U. Satisfactory, unsatisfactory. They don't care if you flew the space shuttle. On that day, you either flew the 727 or you didn't. All I want out of you, all, in addition to this wonderful award that you've given me, is an S. That I've done my job. And that if you do that, I think my mother and my teachers and my friends would be very happy, and I would be too. Thank you very much for
Mr. Strickland has set. Another round of applause for him and all of our honorees tonight. We want to tell you that this event was sold out early this year, so make sure you get your tickets early next year. And it's good to hear Mr. Strickland's story of being an honor student. Amos Wilson and I also were honor students when we were young. Yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor. And we ended up in Vietnam because of it. But I just want to thank all of you for being here. Now, those of you who are awardees, please don't leave right now. We want you on this side to take a group picture.
At the end.
I'm
At the
sorry?
very end. And this is at the very end, after the benediction.
After we're done with the dishes? You gotta do the dishes?
Yeah, yep.
I do the dishes?
Yeah, yeah.
My goodness. We want all of you here for a group picture with the Courier. So please come over here to my right, your left, so we can get our group photo. I want to thank Rod Doss for what he is doing in our community with the New Pittsburgh Courier, and thank all of you too for attending tonight. God bless you and Godspeed on your way home. Thank you very much and good night.
Look, I thought he was serious when he was talking about after they like clear. I thought he was saying clear out the dishes and stuff like that. I was like, oh, well, we got some time. Right. Messing around. And I see guys gathering. I'm like, oh, that was a joke. Bishop, can we get a photo real quick? I don't know if you know, but I went to South Carolina Church back in the day. He used to come home, he was friends with Bishop. Yeah, all the time.
Wow, I've been talking a long time.
He's doing good, he's good. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Everybody know I come straight on. Right next to Where's your wife, man? Can't even say it. Oh, no wonder I can't Well, in 2012, I was in the room at QED going through some videotape, and I saw this, and I said, I just took my phone and tape some. It was on like 1970. I think Swing Out, Sweet Cherry or something. See, I sped it out. I saw Gloria. Oh, yeah? Right here, okay, right here. You taking a picture? Oh. All the PBNF people up right here. Is your mom still alive? Okay, man. God bless you, okay? All right. What's happening, young man? Are you doing all right? Oh, okay. All right. You like it when you grow up, okay? How did you ain't grown yet? Marley! This brother Marley got that fresh cut. He don't want to do pictures. Check it out. Check it out. Yeah, you the president. Come on, Mr. President. All right, here we go. That's right, he is a dude's fan. One, two, three. All right, 6 out of my 10 glasses. 1, 2, 3. That's a Sunday post. Just send him the picture. Well, he going to put your number in. He had the flash on, man. He messing up our eye socket. Yeah, he ain't up in the eye socket.
So, this is a live recording.
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell me how you feel about being honored here today?
Well, you put me on the spot. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. It's live.
It's a true honor to be recognized by the community, my peers, and colleagues. Being here today is enlightening and puts a smile on my face and on my family, and I greatly appreciate that. So thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks. Tell me how you feel about being awarded.
It's an amazing honor to be in this class with Brother Bill Strickland, and I'm having a great time. I'm here with my friends from Your Mom's House Incorporated and Hip Hop on Lock, and it's beautiful to represent for my people in Pittsburgh, PA. 412 all day, baby. Yeah.